I'm hunched over. Oh. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I got a little busy and took the rails out last night off camera. I also took the transmission cross member out. It's being supported by a jack. Got all the fuel lines, brake lines cut loose from the frame rail on this side. Should be good to go to get it out of the way. I decided to go ahead and I'm just going to cut the original seat mounts out. This one's got a broken bolt and they're pretty rotted underneath, and there's no way to get them released from the rail otherwise. I'm going to keep this center section for the time being. It won't be in my way as far as the rails, and I might reuse this section of the transmission tunnel. So let's get busy, get these two pieces cut out so we can get our rail set in. Oh. First side.
Darkness approaching.
Wires to move out of the way here. Broke my saw blade. Alright, welcome back. Got another saw blade. Zip that off real quick. See, I got stuff dripping over here now. Looks like brake fluid and a little bit of gasoline, so I better go get some cat litter and clean this mess up. Meanwhile, there's some cardboard over it to soak it up. That'll work. There we go. You can see quite a mess. Wires out of the way. Time being. these out of here. So from here, we'll clean up these what's left of the rails up here so I can get it prepped up so I can slide my rail inside of it. Phew, that was tiring. So let's get that cut up, prepped up, and ready to set the rails in. We'll start on the passenger side first. Goodness. Get my broom, sweep up a mess here. But she's notched out. It's best I can notch it out. Ooh. All right. Got, had to notch the front end here, had to cut it up at an angle at the bottom there, about 3/4 of an inch, and the same on the outside, so it would match up to the outer profile of the what's left of the front frame rail there. Got it clamped in place where it needs to be. Figured out where I needed to be as far as length. Cut off about 2.5 inches. Got the rail placed in. Everything's all double checked. Good here, relation to the body. Level according to my level, and level according to my laser line. Everything's right where it needs to be for this. Double checked it. She's also level on this plane. So I'm square here, level here. Should be good to go. I'm going to tack it in place. Put a tack up here. Couple of tacks back here just to hold it. I'm not sure yet on the back here, so I don't want to fully weld it, but I do want it to hold position. So I'll lay a bead across here that I can cut off later if I need to, if I replace this back section, because it's probably not as robust as I should use. So I probably will end up putting some 2x4 in place, more of this across the back here. And then I'll just figure out how to attach the latch, make a plate, mounting plate to hold that latch so I can shut the hatch. I'm trying to think. So good on this one. We'll fire up the welder, which now reminds me that I forgot to buy a battery for my welding mask. So thankfully I only got to do some tacks. Get those in place. We'll take a break. My wife just got home. And we'll start working on the side too. Get them, get it fitted, cut the length, and get it parallel to this one. Might actually get the rails tacked in tonight. That'd be a heck of a goal. Not bad for less than a week's worth of work. Oh, let me go get this welder. Oof. Okay, double check everything one last time. Good there. Still good here. So, There's one rail tacked in place. Get the other one put in. Double check my width. See how close I am to, remember, I believe that should be 38.5 outside to outside. If I've measured correctly. That said, it's not a big deal if it's not. I'll just adjust my drawings accordingly. But my goal is 38.5. Okay, I didn't film a lot of this because it was a lot of tedious measuring, balancing, getting anything where it needed to be. I needed to make sure I was not only level to each rail, I needed to be equal on either side, from the rail to the outside of the Jeep, both sides. I'm within a 1/16 of an inch. I am level lengthwise to both rails. Need where I'm supposed to be as far as on the Jeep as well. I am perfectly level back here. I'm off as far as I can guess a 1/16 this way, but I'm good perfectly this way, within a 1/10 of a degree. I'm real happy with that. The big thing I also need to make sure is that I had these kick-ups at the same point this way. I didn't need it cockeyed. I needed to be true this way, so when I get my 4-link plate made, it'll go in where it belongs. And there'll be some fudge factor. But I'm no more than a 1/16 of an inch off in any direction, which is better than what this thing was put together with. So, and it's an off-road vehicle. I'm not building a race car. It doesn't need to be absolutely to the nth perfect, but get as close as I possibly can with them being practical. And I think 1/16 is well enough for this. So both rails are in, or just tacked in place back here and just tacked up front. I'm going to continue on and weld just the outside to the original unibody rail and make a plate across the top just to make sure it stays put, and then have a fish plate on there as well. The inside I'm going to leave B for the time being, because once I get towards the front and I take the axle out, I'm cutting those lower mounts off. And the frame rail at that point is 4 inches wide, and then with the kick out for the lower mounts, another 2 inches, about 6 inches wide. So that takes up a lot of space going forward. So what I want to do is, once I'm to that point, I want to come in at a 45, lop all that off so I have room for my upper link arms, or arm I should say, because I'm going to 3-link the front. But here we go. A couple of good solid days worth of, evenings worth of work, I should say. I did take off a little early today because it was a beautiful afternoon. Work was a little slow, and the rest of the week and into the weekend is supposed to be wet and rainy. So I thought it was a good opportunity to get these done. So like I said, rails are in. From here I'm going to take some measurements, get some actual measurements versus theoretical measurements that I've been doing my drawing on, update things as needed to match what this now actually is. So when I cut my lower plate for the 4-link, I want to make sure that's the right width, because I think I did it at 38.5, and I'm 39. Where am I up here? Oh, I'll take that back. I am 38 1/8 here versus 38.5. Now the rails themselves are not parallel to each other. It does narrow a little bit towards the front. Rails moved in a wee bit. But I am true front, middle, and center to the outside of the Jeep. I'm equal here, equal there, there, and there. So, and I'm equal back here as far as outside edge of this rail to the outside. Everything's where it should be. I probably could have made them parallel all the way front and pulled by pulling these in. But then I would get into these bolts for the bumper bracket. That's about where it would have to be. And I really don't want to mess with this any further. This is what's holding the entire back of the Jeep together as far as height and width. So I didn't want to disturb it. A little tired. A lot of bending over, hunched over, everything else. But rails are installed. Next step from here is, like I said, I'm going to work a little bit more on the front there, make sure the front of the rails is secure and in position. And I'm going to start working on getting the rockers cut to start making the sliders, get those put in. Now, I'm only going to do the standard slider. On my blue Jeep, I came up into the door about an inch and a half. I don't feel like doing that on this. I don't want to cut the doors. The doors are in great shape. I don't want to mess them up. So rockers will be a little lower on this one than they are in the blue Jeep. But I still have metal I'm going to cut out in here. You can see this is all rotted. So I'm going to come down as far as I can and stay within clean metal, at least most of the way down. The driver's side's a little worse than the passenger side. And then there'll be the slider and then the 2-inch kickers coming off of this outside of these rails, which will support not only the body here, support the rocker. Then I'll have the main cross member back here. Be a kick up for the drive shaft. Be right through in here, and then the back roll bar will go up. There'll be 2 bars that will come up, go through the roof, have an X back here, X brace back here, and then this will be all open. I am going to put the fuel tank. I will build I'm going to get some 1-inch tube and build 1-inch tube framework out for the floor. And I will build a cage to set the factory tank in. So this is a budget build. Can't afford an RCI tank, pump assembly and all that good stuff. You can do it on the cheap. Factory tank's in good shape. Good wire wheel and some paint. Be just fine. Sorry, I'm just dancing, looking around. I got a whole bunch of thoughts going through my head about what's going on here. That's what happens when you start building stuff crazily in your garage. Anyway, thanks for watching. More to come up. We're going to build out the sliders, and we'll get this bleeping Jeep Beast Wars Challenge built. Hopefully, we got to get the invite still. 28th is the last day for all the entry videos to be in, and then the actual competition starts. But since other people had basically finished builds and close to finished builds, or at least partially finished builds, I thought I'd get a jump start, at least to this point anyway. And I still have to have an invite. Hopefully we succeed in getting that, but if we don't, it is what it is. We'll continue this build. Again, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. Thanks. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Oh.